Welcome everyone. Good evening to those of you in Qarshi and good morning to my American friends on Zoom. I'm very happy to be introducing the session today, Moving Images, Sequencing as Visual Expression. My name is Lucy Boyd Wilson. I'm an artist, a technologist, and a former animation and video game programmer. For those of you who are new to the term Techspressionism, Techspressionism is an artistic approach in which technology is utilized as a means to express emotional experience, and we're a global networked community of artists working with technology. As a community, we hold monthly virtual salons with fascinating presentations by various artist technologists, and also a group of us meet weekly on Zoom for a co-working session. And we organize art exhibitions and post artist interviews on the website. Please feel free to join any of the salons or co-working. All are welcome, and I think you'll find our meetings really interesting and good community. In September 2025, the Contemporary Art Museum of Uzbekistan in Urgench presented Hello Uzbekistan Techspressionism 2025, a group exhibition showing the works of digital media artists engaged in expressive exploration of emerging technologies. A component of this exhibition was the digital reel of short works by 38 Techspressionist artists. Shirin Teshova is the director of the Museum of Contemporary Art. We're so grateful to her for hosting this exhibition at Camuz. And this is a photo of the exhibition at the museum in Urgench. The exhibition also traveled to Samarkand for its second installation in December 2025. Now the video reel is being shown at the American Makerspace in Qarshi, and these presentations and panel discussions complement that ongoing screening. And now let's get into the presentations for this session. Moving Images, Sequencing as Visual Expression. First, I'd like to go over some simple video editing software that is available for free on Windows PCs. That is Microsoft Clipchamp and VLC Media Player. Here are a couple of screenshots. This is Clipchamp. It's great for trimming video into short, usable segments. And it has a green screen feature. VLC Media Player is another video editing tool available for free on Windows machines. You can change brightness, contrast, color of video clips, and all kinds of easy options. Another thing I'd like to go over very quickly are some basic concepts of 3D animation, more for inspiration than anything else. I'll be showing some of my own animated creations as examples. My main development environment is the Unity game engine, which is professional but free for individual personal use. Let's start with the question, what moves? What can be animated? Of course, objects can move. Objects can be animated. They can translate and turn and scale, get bigger and smaller. They can appear and disappear. Lights are objects. So lights can be animated and they can move. And if lights are moving, then shadows are moving. In this little scene, there are multiple lights moving inside this shape, and lights can have animated intensity and changing colors and so on. Cameras can move. You can move through a scene, follow a path, turn, look at objects, and here's a camera moving through this cavern scene. Particles. Particles can have different shapes and colors and trails. In this scene, the lines are the trails left behind the particles, and particles you can create random noise and random motion, as you see here. Physics is another way of making things move. In physical simulation using velocity and acceleration, objects can fall with gravity and collision and bounce. Here you're seeing these colorful balls sliding down the spiral slide and bouncing on the ground at the bottom. Materials and textures is what we use to color the surfaces of objects. These can also be animated. This model of tree roots has an animated transparent texture, making it look like it's slowly flowing. And the background is another example of an animated texture. And of course, everything else can be animated. Humans, animals, sea creatures, plants, and anything that you can imagine. Blender is a 3D modeling and animation and rendering tool. It is free, open source, and available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. That's what I use primarily for modeling, and Unity is a game engine. Unity is my main development environment. It's a game engine. You can do animation and create real-time experiences. You can also write code, scripting, so you can create interactive experiences, and it is free as long as you're making less than $100,000 a year. And it's available on all platforms, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Now I'm looking forward to introducing our three presenting artists, Randy Matushevitz, Alan Hirsh, and Susan Detroy. I think you'll find them each unique and fascinating in their different approaches. Our first presenter is Randy Matushevitz. She's a lifelong visual artist working across analog and digital mediums. Her large-scale mixed media drawings, video, and installation projects explore the subjective nature of human connection. She was awarded the California Arts Council Individual Artist Fellow in 2023, and her works are in a number of museum collections in the US and Berlin. I think you'll find her figurative work intriguing. Welcome, Randy Matushevitz.
Good morning or good evening. I'm Randy Matushevitz, and it's a pleasure to be here to talk to you today about sequencing video. You could see here on the screen is my website, my Instagram, and my YouTube channel for you to see some of my artwork. A little about me is I have an MFA in painting, and as other accolades that have been announced, something curious about me is that I've lived in three major U.S. cities, which are Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Miami, and New York City, and I've lived in them all twice at very different points in my life. It's really informed my artwork. The other thing to know about me is that as I've been an artist my whole career, I have also been a wife, a mother, a daughter, and very importantly, a caregiver, which also has informed the importance of the human connection in my work and using digital video to capture a breadth of emotion and transfer this experience through technology to the viewer. Here you can see some of my artwork displayed in broad room mapping or on screens. These are in galleries in Los Angeles and one in Florida. I want to talk to you about sequencing and capturing a breadth of emotion and using it for my thoughts as contemporary portraiture as moving image. This is from a video, Midnight Coiffed, where you could see three different facial expressions that are used in the video and how they might look when you think about sequencing. Here's another from a video called Psychedelic Journey. My drawing videos and installations meet at the intersection of meaning and association. These still and moving images explore the psychological and surreal and subjective nature of human connection. Today we're talking about sequencing, the process of arranging images, actions, data in specific order. These orders include the layers of imagery, of video, of visual and audio effects, sounds, and music. I am layering and sequencing not just in chronological order or from left to right, but in the layers of front to back. When you watch these videos, please consider that. This is Flower Field. Flower Field, you can hear the sound, was shown in Uzbekistan. This short clip explains some of what I just showed you. Here you can see stills from the video. If you watch the blue shapes, you will see how they move within the video format. The figure also moves. Again, follow the blue shapes where they come forward, backward, and change in size. This is one way to observe sequencing. Here is the process of me creating a character. I start with a painting and then transfer it to AI. This is one of the many, many, many forms I got for this painting to character creation. This shows the character animated. This is one of many facial expressions I create using a vector mask. Another aspect to creating animation and sequencing is I cut out shapes from colorful backgrounds and other images I make. And these shapes I layer and then animate. And this adds to the sequencing. I make many clips of animation to choose from and to later use in my projects. Here are two screens that you will see that explore video editing, the sequencing layers of content, the subjective, the narrative, as I mentioned before, the overlays, the transitions, visual effects, and sound effects. This is from CapCut. This is from Video Leap. Here is the screen with CapCut and Video Leap. This is what your desktop or your phone might look like. You will notice the layers of image next to image, as well as in the Video Leap version, you could see digital imagery on top. You could see this, and it shows you how a layering might look on your screens. Here's another screen from Premiere Rush. There you can see on the bottom the green line is an audio track. You can layer many audio tracks, and these screens look very similar across different software that you would be using. Here's a list of various applications I use for video editing, for content creation, animation, photo manipulation, element overlay, from taking still images and my own images or other images for prompts that I add to AI to manipulate to create the forms you see, and then some software that I use for free sound and music, some you pay for. Thank you very much for having me today. I hope this was informative. A few more images of my work with their printed still image, and have a good day.
Thank you, Randy. Wonderful to get a glimpse of your animated installation work and the tools you use. Our next presenter is Alan Hirsh, who is a scientist with a background in biology, neurobiology, and plant physiology. He uses mathematics to create his animated works. He has won a number of prizes, including 2 first-place awards for digital art, one at the Cape Cod Art Centre and a Pollux Award at Photostrom in Barcelona. He has exhibited widely and sold to collectors in the Washington, D.C. area. I really appreciate Alan's passion for mathematics and how he uses it to create art. Welcome, Alan Hirsh.
I'm a mathematical painter and videographer. This shows my 3 websites and Instagram. There are about 3,000 pieces of art on the sites, and I'm hoping to show you that I can use mathematics to produce beautiful art. This is a famous painting by Kandinsky, the starting image for the transformations in the following video. I've used pieces by Kandinsky and Moreau to do this, and I've been very, very intrigued by the results. This is the transformation of the Kandinsky painting. The software loops to create 700 frames. Here Kandinsky's colors are preserved, but each pixel is moved to a new location with each new frame. I believe that Kandinsky would be intrigued by the results, which I think preserve the spirit of his work and turn it into a dynamic reality. So how do I paint with mathematics? I'll try to give you an explanation which will be both clear and intriguing. And let's begin. Start with 3 images. One is the source of pixels to build the new image. I move from pixel to pixel and register in all 3 images. Extract the 9 color numbers and add in the X and Y position. So I have 11 dimensions. The equations use these numbers to calculate a new pixel position, and the program takes the pixel at the new position from the source image and puts it at the pixel position we are at, and this is illustrated directly in the next slide. Visual example of the process. In both images, we are at the same position as shown by the little red squares. The program takes, as an example, a blue pixel from the source and moves it to the red square position in the target as shown by the arrow. I use many different mathematical processes: calculus, trigonometry, logarithms, exponents, logical branching, and recursion. And usually I take 700 frames to make a video. In a separate part of the program, I can color each individual pixel from the pixels in the source image. I use the 24 color numbers from the 8 pixels surrounding the pixel to be transformed, as shown here. The numbers go into equations which modify the colors of the target pixel in the middle. My graphical user interface, where I set parameters and choose files and equation sets. Most numbers are used in the equations. Some are labels for the equation sets themselves, and some explain to the program how many times to loop and create frames for a video. This is what I see when the program creates an image. Some numbers describe the pixel position being analyzed. Some, the position from where the pixel data will be taken in the source to be put in the target. And some tell me the frame number, and some show the contribution from each of the terms in the many equations. This is the starting image for the next video, where both pixel position and color will be modified. And as we'll see, that produces a much more abstract transformation of the original image. As I said, by modifying both color and space, the level of abstraction increases enormously. This shows the depth of possible transformations, approximately a Google to the 360,000th power for each frame. One of my new projects is that I make silk scarves with my still images. These are examples of my silk scarves. Another project that I have is to make accent pillows with my still images. Second from left and third from left on the top row are transformations of paintings by Moreau. The others are transformations of my own art. I seek out samples of the infinite patterns hidden in the images. Hidden beauty is my central goal. I have programmed the painting program myself. I have invented and patented an effective upscale software to make the images large where necessary. I use Movavi to merge my images into MP4s. I use Clipchamp to speed them up and add music from Motion Array. I use Photoshop to print JPEG and analyze color. I use very powerful gaming computers from Sager on a Windows 11 Pro operating system. I'm entirely self-taught, both in art and structured computer programming. In my other life, I'm a biophysicist. I want to thank the organizers for this wonderful opportunity, and for those of you who are watching, I hope I've stimulated your imagination. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. So interesting how you use mathematics to create your own kind of art in motion. Our final presenter today is Susan Detroy. She is a lifelong artist. Her first medium is photography, and you'll see how that informs her digital and moving artworks. Awards include winner of the Magic Silver Show at Murray University and an honourable mention for her self-portrait series in the Julia Cameron Women Photographers International Competition. She has exhibited internationally at art shows in South Korea, Australia, and Spain, as well as the US. Her main focus in art is the earth and self-portraiture. Welcome, Susan Detroy.
Hi, Susan Detroy here, analog and digital artist, and I'm wondering if you are an artist who works in handmade media and is interested in moving towards digital. I was a printmaker, a photographer. I produced art in mixed media and transfer processes. I used multiples and layers to create interest. Here, these pieces are in the Worship of Precious Dragonfly series. They are handmade. I also used repetition to show movement. Here I used extreme color and layering too. I was a photographer for many years using large format, medium format, and 35mm cameras. This is a medium format, a negative produced and then printed in sequence, one against the other, side by side. My current project that has a photography base is Portrait of a Woman Legacy Project. I use multiple apps with similar techniques of layering and sequencing. Here I'm using an app called Panographic.
This crazy bike never gets old. She it takes me high. Pedal fast, we touch the sky. Laughing as we fly away. Night turns into happiness.
Rainy Day Broadway is the clip you just saw that's in the Techspressionism show, in the reel. I produced that film on my iPhone on my bike. I clip my phone to my handlebars. I also use CapCut, which I'll talk about throughout this presentation, and Instagram filters. I created a series of clips with the filters and then put them into CapCut, which is my primary video editing tool. Here you can see at the bottom, there are layers, and also this tool has transitions and a number of great tools that you might find helpful. The next film that I'm working on is Clouds. It's almost completed for a submission to a film festival. I suggest your primary step, if you're doing a film, capture and gather images and video more than you think you need. Then you can arrange and sequence. I like to repeat imagery. You see here, I have similar photos of clouds from different perspectives. I say experiment fearlessly. These two films are great examples of how I layer and sequence videos and photographs, images to create a visual interest and tell a story. I like to blend the images and clips and use similar style, color, and form. This is my project file on CapCut. It's my primary tool. You can see I have multiple projects going at once. A work in progress. It's my current sequencing, layering, CapCut project. It was made with Adobe AI, Clip-to-Comic, and CapCut. My digital tools are hardware iPhone and iPad. And this list of software I call attention to Snapseed, which is a deep image producing app. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share what I create with all of you. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Susan. Love seeing how your background in photography, printmaking, and mixed media folds into your current video work. And thank you to each of the presenting artists, Randy Matushevitz, Alan Hirsh, Susan Detroy. Very inspiring to see such a wide range of art styles and approaches. And especially many thanks to the American Makerspace in Qarshi and to Kamuz, the Contemporary Art Museum of Uzbekistan. It's been such a pleasure being part of this program.